5 single-family homes sold in Barkhamsted this August, and only 2 of them sold for more than asking price. So do we think prices are correcting, or do we think we're slowly flipping into a buyer's market? I'm your neighborhood realtor, Julia Uvari, and I'm here with your weekly Barkhamsted real estate news. So let's go over the 5 properties that sold in August. The first is 27 Pleasant Valley Road. This property is a 3-bed, 2-bath home with 1,922 square feet. It sits on 2.5 acres, and it was listed at $499,999. and sold for $485,000. The second property is 97 Taylor Road. This is a 4-bed, 3-bath home with 3,100 square feet and 2.26 acres. It was listed at $599,900 and sold for $583,000. This next property is 468 East River Road. This is one of the properties that sold above list. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath home with 1,677 square feet, 2.66 acres. It was listed at $465,000 and sold for $475,000. The fourth property that sold is also one that sold above list. This is 12 Pine Mountain Circle. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath home with 1,620 square feet and 0.92 acres. It was listed at $425,000 and sold for $435,000. The last property that sold in Barkhamsted last month is 13 Oak Lawn Drive. This property is a 3-bed, 2-bath home with 1,550 square feet and 1.80 acres. It was listed at $390,000 and it sold for $380,000. Now let's take a closer look at that buyer demand in Barkhamsted. This graph shows 2 data points. The bars in blue show the average percent over ask price that properties sold for each month. And then the yellow lines show the number of sales each month. So we can see for this past August, we had those 5 sales that I just went through, with those homes selling negative 0.78% over ask price on average. So that number being negative shows that on average, sellers did sell for less than ask price for that specific month. So now understanding how to read this graph, we can start looking for trends and where we think buyer demand is going. So let's take a peek back at August 2024 and July of 2024. So in July of 2024, there was 3 sales, and on average, homes sold 10.5% over ask price, which is a record high, by the way, on this graph. It only goes back to December of 2022, but still, that's the highest we see since December of 2022. So then we look at August of 2024, where we had 7 sales, and we sold an average of 4.39% over ask price. So still almost 5% more than this August. So clearly our numbers last year were already way higher, but let's compare even all the way back to 2023. So in July of 2023, we had 4 sales, and on average, these properties sold 8.39% over asking price, which is still wickedly high. And then in August of 2023, we had 5 sales, and on average, they sold 5.17% over ask price. So clearly, when we look back at this July and this August's numbers, they're much lower in comparison to previous August and Julys that we've had in Barkhamsted over the past 2 years. So I'm curious on what you guys think is happening. Do we think prices are starting to correct, or do we think that buyers have more of an upper hand here, that we have less buyers trying to jump in? Or do we think that sellers have less of an upper hand now, and we're shifting way more into a buyer's market? I'm curious on what your opinions are, so drop those in the comments. I'm very curious to hear. But that wraps up our stats. So jumping into town news, there is a food drive on September 13th at the Barkhamsted Garage. That's on 33 New Hartford Road, aka Route 44. It's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the list of items they need are actually on the town website if you guys are curious. And that is it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like my videos, please do like and subscribe to my channel. And if there's anything you guys would like to hear from me, please drop it in the comments. I'm always looking for video suggestions. Of course, if you're looking to buy or sell, I would love to help out. Or if you just want to chat about real estate, feel free to call me anytime. That is it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.